This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
Cocaine?
No thanks.
Davey,
I don't like this.
try it. Come on, take a hit.
No thanks.
Yo, my man, you want some lewds? No way.
Good. It'll make you feel good. No.
Recreational drug use goes as far back as 5000 BC when the Sumerians used opium. But no one really started to take action until the mid-1850s temperance movement, making temperance education a part of a required course in public school. This newfound education program is likely what caused the composition of Coca-Cola to be changed, with cocaine being replaced by caffeine in 1903. In 1920, the prohibition of alcohol begins in the United States, and approximately 45,000 people received jail sentences for alcohol offenses in just 1 year. In June 1971, President Richard Nixon officially declared a war on drugs, identifying drug abuse as public enemy number one. As we saw in the commercials from Ad Council, Nancy Reagan launched her anti-drug campaign a decade later. In 1986, President Reagan signed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which created mandatory minimum penalties for drug offenses. With these new approaches to the war on drugs, the U.S. state and federal prison population has increased over 800% in just 40 years. So why are harsher drug policies only creating an increase in drug abuse? Maybe just saying no isn't cutting it anymore. It's time to take a different approach, and that's where drug decriminalization comes in. The word decriminalize just basically means to eliminate criminal penalties against something. Decriminalization is not to be confused with legalization. Drug decriminalization eliminates jail time and other penalties, including a criminal record, and replaces those with types of addiction treatment. In 2001, the Portuguese government decided to decriminalize all drugs. If anyone is found in the possession of anything from marijuana to heroin, they are sent to the Commission for the Dissuasion of Drug Addiction. The Commission recommends treatment or a minor fine. Portugal has seen a large decrease in the amount of HIV cases among drug users and drug overdose deaths in the past 14 years. Portugal's effective implementation of drug decriminalization leads me to believe that drugs should be decriminalized in the United States because addiction treatment is less expensive than incarceration, and it is easier to be a productive member of society after treatment rather than being a convicted felon. According to a study by the Justice Policy Institute, it costs $64,338 to put an addict in jail, compared to only $32,974 to place them in the Drug Treatment Alternative to Prison program, which is a program currently implemented in Brooklyn, New York. This graph shows the yearly cost of jailing a drug offender in Maryland, $20,000, versus the yearly cost of treatment in Maryland, which is only $4,000. Zach Wamp, an ex-cocaine addict and East Tennessee representative, says it currently costs $31 billion a year to lock up, feed, and clothe criminals, and that this expensive jail time is not working. He claims that only influence from close friends made him want to enter a drug treatment center for his addiction, this option being the cheaper one. Both his experience as an addict and working in the world of drug laws makes him a credible source. Being arrested for a drug crime is an extreme deal and creates a permanent record. This record is accessible to schools, workplaces, landlords, and banks, which makes it nearly impossible to accomplish much and can haunt a person for life. A 19-year-old Albert Martinez made the stupid decision to start selling drugs. He got caught, and the drug convictions kept him from getting federal student loans, grant, and work study. Years later, the housing authority rejected their family's rental application. The only place that would hire him was a part-time job at Dunkin' Donuts. Ramirez says they're not living wage jobs. They're not stable. They're here today, gone tomorrow. If Ramirez would have had the option to enter a drug addiction treatment instead of incarceration, he wouldn't have these drug convictions haunt him for the rest of his life. Increases in admissions to substance abuse treatment are associated with reductions in crime rates. Admissions increased by 37%, and during the same period of time, violent crime fell by 31.5%. A less violent person is a more productive person, which improves society as a whole. America should stop saying no to drugs and start saying yes to drug decriminalization. Addiction is a serious illness, and we must treat the underlying causes of it before wasting money and time on putting addicts in prison.